Here's what we know. You need a physical practice and you need a creative practice. Those are the two things you need in your life if you want to replace all of your chronic consumption habits with something meaningful. And you need to find a replacement. If you try to just stop scrolling or stop smoking or just quit any number of bad habits that are giving you comfort in your life, all you're going to experience is absence. You're going to feel the absence of those things that were giving you a moment of self-soothing. Understand that's what's going on here with all of your bad habits and consumption. You are trying to soothe yourself. They're not the most effective sources of actual healing, but they give you distraction or comfort or pleasure in the moment, and you've learned to rely on them. And it's very important to look at it that way so that you don't beat yourself up for the rest of your life. You're a human being trying your best to take care of yourself with the tools that are around you, and you just happen to be surrounded by very potent sources of distraction that are not good for you and force you, or they don't force you, but lead to you exchanging forward progress for moment-to-moment gratification. That is an addictive lifestyle that you've been sold, and you've been practicing it for a long time now, so it's ingrained in your life. We have to replace it with something better. Understand that there is something better out there. There is an alternative that's actually going to make you feel good, and we're going to replace all of the different distractions that you have in your life with something that's going to leave you feeling full. Recognize that right now you probably don't feel full. You probably live in a cycle of moment-to-moment gratification. You hit your vape, or you scroll on social media, or you drink something, or you smoke something, or whatever. It's a quick spike of pleasure, but it doesn't actually solve the problem. Maybe you're feeling bored, or anxious, or lonely. Maybe you're feeling like you don't know what to do with your life, and so to soothe that very reasonable anxiety, pain, psychic discomfort, you turn to a distraction. Makes perfect sense, right? Like, just, you're not broken for doing that. You just need a better source. So that's why we go to physical and creative practice. These two things will leave you feeling like you've accomplished something, but more importantly, they exchange quick hit pleasure seeking for effort. So that's kind of the exchange here, is you're exchanging pleasure for pain. Now that might sound a little bit scary right now, or impossible even, and that's okay, because what we're going to do is we're going to scale both of these things back. We're going to make them very easy for you so that both of these practices are approachable for you today. Not tomorrow, not a year from now, not next year, 2026, I'll get it together. These are very addictive voices in our brain, like, oh, I'll just push off the transformation until tomorrow, and it'll be epic tomorrow when I wake up. This is a voice you maybe have grown accustomed to. It's something I've struggled with and still have to contend with every day. But the cool thing is, if you make both of these practices, physical and creative practice, very easy for yourself, it'll be a no-brainer to do them, and you'll start feeling better. Momentum is a very powerful tool. By doing something again and again, you ingrain it in your body and your brain. You make it so that you naturally crave more, and that's one of the reasons why you've become so dependent on cheap dopamine sources. It's just you've repeatedly engaged in them. So we're going to do the same thing with physical and creative practice. We're going to functionally get you addicted to physical and creative practice. Physical practice is movement. It's a dedicated movement practice that you do repeatedly with the intention of developing certain attributes. So like going for a walk and, just basic movement in your life is good, and I think it's good to do more of that. But a dedicated movement practice is you saying, you know what, I want to explore my body and the capacity of my human movement by repeatedly practicing this thing. So that's something like dance or strength training or running or swimming, any number of cardiovascular activities. It can be martial arts. It can be walking, but the main thing here is that you go into the practice with intention. You almost don't have to force improvement with these things. If you just repeatedly show up and do a few push-ups, or go through a pretty basic workout in the gym, or like go for a run, or do a Zumba class with your friends, or do yoga with your family. You don't have to overcomplicate it in the beginning. If you just do it a few times, you're automatically going to become better at it through repeated exposure. It's an incredible thing about the human body and brain. Now, with a little bit of guidance and intention, you can obviously get a lot better a lot faster. But I don't think you should force this. There's kind of this obsession in American Western culture on like improvement, and it's a natural human tendency to want to improve, which is great. But the obsession on getting better each and every time exactly this much by that's going to get in the way of you actually staying present in the practice. I don't want to get too into the weeds yet, but just today, I want you to find the movement practice that you can do. If you have no idea for this, you're just going to go on YouTube and you're going to look up 5-minute yoga practice, or you're going to go on a walk and listen to a podcast, or nothing, and just feel what your body is like as it moves. Get in touch with your body. It's not about the numbers. It's not about how long you walk, how far you walk, how long or far you run, how much weight you move in the gym. It's just Can you move your body and enter a conversation with your body itself? That's step one for the physical practice. And I promise you, if you can give yourself a little bit of patience and grace, you'll be able to find something you can do today that is so powerful. It's so powerful to just stop outsourcing your life to tomorrow, because tomorrow never comes. Next year never comes. You're selling your life to a future that will not exist, because tomorrow you're going to wake up and you're still going to be you. You're still going to be you. And if you've offloaded responsibility to a future you without doing any of the work today, future you is not changed. It's still just you. It's the you that offloaded responsibility. That's a habit that you're practicing. So what you have to do now is accept, like, this is it. This present moment is the only one you have, which you hear all the time. But, like, actually, this is it. This is as good as it gets. What you're going to do is find the thing you can do right now, and that might be just standing up and then sitting back down. Boom. If you can do that right now, you have just exerted agency. You have shown yourself that you're in control in one small way, and all you have to do is repeat that 10 times in 10 tiny little ways, and you will prove to yourself that you are driving. You are behind the wheel of your consciousness. That is powerful. Next is the creative practice. In the beginning, it's just journaling. That's all it is you're going to get a piece of paper and a pen, and you're going to write down what's in your brain. Over time, this might turn into other creative practices like music or physical art. Visual art could be sculpting, could be pottery, could be any number of things. The truth is, you just need to get back in touch with yourself. There is a part of you that is really desperate to be explored. And probably this was a part of you that showed up like when you were a kid, when you were a small child. There was like a hobby that you were really into. You need to get back in touch with that part of you, which is drowning in noise. You've been consuming all of this cheap dopamine, and it's gotten in the way of the thing that actually needs to come out of you. So for me, this was like writing and performing fiction. As a kid, like that was the thing that I did. I was like 4 years old, and I would be like writing, or not even writing, just like orating stories in the living room, kind of performing them, kind of like play pretend, but also like, I don't know, building a world at the same time. That was the first thing that I ever did of my own, like just to like have fun as a kid. And recently, I've reconnected with that part of me by writing fiction and then performing it, and it's been some of the most fun I've had. And it really is just like, that's me getting back in touch with maybe the purest part of me. That is what heals us from endless consumption, distraction, overwhelm. It takes a little bit of time and patience, and you can only do it from a place of destimulation, right? Like, you're not going to do it when your mind is swarming with dopamine and with ideas and with potential stuff. Right now, it might not feel possible or accessible to you, but that's because there's just too much going on. So, if you remove the silence and use the movement practice to kind of clear your body, right? Like by going on a long walk or a run or going to the gym or practicing your martial arts or doing a dance, you will have a kind of a cathartic experience. You'll be in your body, which is like somatic healing, and then from there you'll process some of the nonsense out of you and be able to sit down with your thoughts and then just start writing out your thoughts on a piece of paper and see what you find, because you know more than you think you do. Seriously, that's what it means to get back in touch with your intuition. Trust that your body, your gut, parts of you that you're not always in touch with, know what to do. Like, they know what you're interested in. So if you're someone living in the modern world and you're like, I don't know what I like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, that's totally normal if you're constantly overwhelmed. It's only from a place of true boredom destimulation that you can find that curious voice within you. And then when you do, it's not this like crazy spark of passion, not right away. You have to nurture that. So just get yourself into a place of quiet, let the curiosity bubble back up, and then nurture it by just exploring it. Okay, maybe I'm going to write a little bit about this idea, or I'm going to go, I don't know, like go to a museum or something. Like it's going to be curiosity more than passion in the beginning. But then as you build momentum, it could very well become passion. And then that's the thing that replaces the chronic consumption. And then the goal is for you to have these two practices, physical and creative, that are so much more fulfilling and satiating and exciting than constant distraction. But it takes time and patience. Understand, though, that on the other side of that effort, the effort that you exchange for instant pleasure, you will feel so much better than you do right now. In the beginning, it will be a little bit difficult, but it doesn't take very long. It takes maybe a week or two to start feeling that momentum and to naturally start craving sources of effort as your day-to-day excitement. And at that point, the cheap dopamine won't even hit anymore. You won't even crave it, because it will not be able to do for you what your meaningful physical and creative practice can, because those are things you've chosen for yourself. And that is very, very powerful. Let your curiosity take the wheel. I think if you're hearing these words, if you're still here, you have a sense of what to do next. And I would just implore you to trust that gut instinct, trust that it knows more than you often give it credit for, and follow it. See where it takes you. This is the adventure of your life, and it begins right now.